everyone, and welcome back to AustinTalks. So today we've got an interesting one, but it is actually really I thought it was a good video to do. Obviously, medicine and health is a very big part of our lives, but not a lot of people know how it originated and how it has evolved throughout the years. And it's not a long video. Its evolution is very crammed together, but it is all very good, and it's very interesting. So without further ado, let's just get into it. First off, some of you may be asking, why am I doing this video? Well, it's quite simple, really, because as I've just said, medicine is a big part of everyone's lives. It keeps us healthy, and it has improved society for generations after generations, and it still is. Medicine is also has a very rich history, and as much as it's crammed together, I'm speaking about it because it is very fascinating, and it is something I have just learned about. Now, many people must be idolized in this field, like Marie Curie, Alexander Fleming for the discovery of penicillin, and they are amazing contributions to not only medicine but the world, because all of them have profound applications that are just that have made great changes to not only just medicine but a variety of other fields. But medicine has made its way up the hierarchy of needs, and something that is needed. And there are all sorts of medicine. There isn't just your typical antibiotics, but there's so much more. So without further ado, let's just get into where it first started, which was during the prehistoric the prehistoric era, where the classic healing was a thing. You're gonna hear a lot of weird stuff, but here it is. So healing was the most traditional medical procedure at the time during the prehistoric ages, and it wasn't called medicine. It was just called the healing practices. I guess it's. I think that's valid. Considering probably English then was not the same as now, I do think the name healing practices is quite appropriate. But at the time, there was many healing remedies and rituals that helped. Emphasis on the helped, mainly it was just this will soothe you, and realistically it is doing nothing. Yeah, and it was this guy's name who introduced, I'm going to say Hippocrates, or something, who introduced the certain principles that were introduced to medical ethics, some of which are still used today, and a lot of which actually. Now, during this time, they also gained a better understanding to the human anatomy and how, mainly the skeletal system and other parts of the body, and this was mainly through observation, legs, arms, basically all the fundamentals of what are the human anatomy. Now, Roman public health was improved, however, it was not massively, but there was much philosophical work that was conducted at the time that did heavily influence medical knowledge, especially to the upcoming period of time. But a lot of it is still carried on today, as it is very helpful. So the next point of time is the Middle Ages. This is when I would say that the most of the stuff came together with a lot more ideology, and but there was a lot more philosophical views as well. Now, there isn't much to cover during this period, however. There are still some major changes that happened during this period. So due to many religious views at the time, there was a lot of medical knowledge that was expanded on, which became actually stepping stones for the upcoming century. So there was religious beliefs that led on to how procedures would work, and the type of stuff they were able to, the type of medicine they were able to get. So all of that played into and a lot of that's actually still used today, and is actually just considered a normal thing. But it was basically a fundamental ground work for the upcoming century, and it was also at this time that surgery, pharmacy, and hospitals were improved. Obviously, pharmacies and hospitals then were not like ours now. surgery is definitely not the same as well. But this was when they finally started to understand the medical procedures and the actual medical knowledge that was needed to heal people and make them better. Not the stuff from the very beginning. Definitely not. And it was thought that being that these private facilities and private areas where medical treatment could be conducted would add some would better understand. I would feel what's the one I'm looking for? Like, feel more comfort for the patient. And lastly, it was also during this period we had the events of the Black Death, which actually spurred interest in the idea of public health, because public health was still a bit of an issue. Public health only really improved in the 1800s, because public health was considered the medical treatment was only for the people who were higher up in the hierarchy, people like queens or kings or leaders. That's what they were mainly for. But this was when public health actually started to take an interest, but still nothing was unfortunately done at the time. But it did evolve public health, which is the good thing. Now, we move on to the Renaissance period, which is also the Age of Enlightenment. So during this period, between the 14th and 17th century, there was a lot of medical knowledge that was used, and it was a lot. There was a lot that happened during this time. Now, traditional beliefs that had been carried for centuries were actually challenged during this time by the discoveries of Vesalius or something like that, and they would change the idea of their beliefs. They would change their idea of what they believed in. Now, the scientific methods that were applied during this time were they were just in various fields, and various fields of medicine. And there was a lot of contributed work to this, blood circulation. And the idea of blood circulation and the understanding, which was when we got the circulatory system knowledge. This was considered revolutionary stuff. And considering for the time and what you learn now in school, this is revolutionary stuff. I mean, if you know how blood works and how it applies to the muscles, and you know where all the body parts are, like the skeletal system. And I don't know about the digestive system at this point. That is still very major and very important. So all of this, during the Renaissance time, when it came to the medical field, it was considered the Age of Enlightenment, because this is the period where most of the medical knowledge that had been gained over the years and the stuff that had been discovered all came together by the work of Vesalius, and while some of it was challenged, it all came together, and basically, I would roughly say 80 to 90% of this stuff that you learn now is still used today. Now, the press also came in, the press and also did come into this a lot. I mean, to be fair, this is when media and press actually started in the 17th century, but it had a great impact on the political perspectives of medicine, and it did link back to the change in the traditional medicine beliefs. Now, and lastly, vaccinations also were big at this time. This was further developed, however. That was just developed by Edward Jenner, which was also a very revolutionary thing. And vaccinations, as we all know, is still very important today, and it has played a very big role in the scientific evidence and development of medicine. I would say that, I do think the name of the Age of Enlightenment is so necessary here, because you know so much about it. And if you do GCSE history, this is what you do. Basically, the Age of Enlightenment and onwards. You don't cover the Age of Enlightenment much. It's basically straight afterwards. But this is basically the tip. This is under the iceberg, and everything that happened before that, which is incredible. And I don't think it's said enough. And yeah. Yes, this is the stuff. So this was the rise. This is called the rise of modern medicine. So this is a lot, and this is what if you do GCSE history, you will cover this. So modern medicine history is very well known, and many of the applications are still used today. I'm gonna say for this one a niche 95%. Now, like many others, they have very memorable minds that did come out of this period. Louis Pasteur and Florence Nightingale. Now, the first major discovery in stride was the invention of the stride was at the time was chloroform, which can be seen on screen, and ether. To be fair, chloroform and ether are basically the same thing. This was known as anesthesia, which was used quite a lot in surgery, and this was actually called like the surgery era, because a lot of the stuff that was used for surgery, like today, was basically around at the same time. So 3 things you really need to consider are pain, the pain, infection, and blood loss. Those are 3 factors of surgery that played a very big impact. So pain was taken care of by the anesthesia. Infection was not only to the was alcohol wipes and some of the clothing that was used by the surgeons. But that thing sends people to sleep, which I think that is very useful. I would definitely not like to have a surgery with my being conscious. Just please God no. Now, which was very useful as before at the time, as it conducted an operation with some consciousness, which had a very dangerous risk. Because pain obviously would cause a resistance in the body, which would cause them to go basically why you'd stop, please stop, and agitation could lead to serious blood loss. It's a full circle. Now, Florence Nightingale also made big strides in nursing, and she improved many of the hospital's environments, as can be seen. No, wrong. Sorry, don't look at that. Making them more homey and less crowded. So this is actually a room of the science. This was the room that a lot of the science stuff was conducted, like Louis Pasteur's. So Louis Pasteur discovered germ theory. He expanded on scientific knowledge with germ theory, where he explained that germs were in specific germ was basically microorganisms that lived within specific liquids, which also backed up the evidence that cholera was a waterborne disease, as there are waterborne microorganisms, bacteria, which cause disease, which cause death. So yeah, there's modern medicine there was so much to do with modern medicine, and so germ theory was also expanded on a few years later, where actually a vaccine was created that approved vaccinations and germ theory, and it's that's why we still have them today. So thank this man and someone else kind of forgot his name, but yeah. Oh yeah, the 21st century and wars, because there was 2. Why was there 2? Now, so I like to call the 20th century the century of applications, because basically everything you learn about was carried over. But yeah. Now, the 21st century was the previous, basically everything that was in the previous century was taken and made into either a device or, just was used as knowledge. And it was during this century that they were applied, and especially during the war. The war was a big part of how, they proved a lot of stuff. So I would argue it was risky, but yeah. Now, there were some discoveries and developments as well that happened during this time. Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin, and also now known as antibiotics. And what's funny about this is it was discovered by mistake. It was a complete mistake. So, yeah, there's that, but a lot of this is basically to do with applications. So, birth vaccines were introduced at this time, and there was I can't name them. I don't have space, and I can't remember them, but there was beyond a lot of vaccines that were introduced at this time, and a lot of the diseases were taken from, or were taken when you're a baby. And X-rays and MRIs were also they were discovered at the very beginning of the century. Actually, well, that's not specifically true. It was officially proven that they existed at the time. However, it was like right before that, radium and all that. No, I'd say the 20th century. So, and this was also discovered and considered the most effective application during both wars of using anesthesia. Furthermore, the Human Genome Project was also completed, and lastly, there was a very big improvement in organ transplantation. Yeah, the 20th century for you folks. There was a lot there. Definitely a lot there. Yep. And now, I don't think this is, I think this is now, I would presume, because we are in the 21st century, but anyway. Now, we have come a long way in the field of medicine, and it is not stopping. Now, that is for sure. And then many advancements have arisen during this century, such as precision in medicine dosage, and also that applies to other fields of medicine, such as therapy. And there is now an easier judgment of how much someone is progressing, and more precise due to scientific knowledge and psychology. Very good fun stuff. AI, as we know, is playing a big part and still contributing to every part of the world, including medicine, people. And AI is only making up a small margin of the hard work in medicine, because there are some pure heroes in this world that make the medicine and the doctors are heroes. People who are if you save lives basically on a daily, whether that be a cough, because if a cough is not treated by any means, they would die. Simple as that. And it's thanks to medicine that we have the medicine at home to be able to stop that cough. And there is other stuff in this world that we can be thankful to medicine. Now, this century has also introduced alternate ways to treat extreme diseases and lifestyle diseases, and it is incredible and possibly the most important field known to Earth logically. Logically, this is probably the most important field to mankind. However, I'm gonna be a bit biased and say physics and philosophy. However, just if you think of it logically, it's medicine. You wouldn't be here without it. So that's just my opinion. Just me. That's just me. And now, the future. The future is upon us, people. Now, the future of medicine is a field that is still yet to be clarified. However, there is many routes that can be taken. But based on the other fields and how they are going, it is just going to be AI, as I just said. Now, more scientific knowledge is yet to be discovered, and more machinery is yet to be made. That is typical for any scientific field, and any field in general, to be fair. And as much as we don't know what the way forward is, it isn't like the end of it isn't an end, as many diseases are still yet to be cured. But the future is near. Just medicine does so much for the world, and it does it helps with diseases like cancer and what's the other one, like measles. It's amazing. And just if medicine is a very important field, that's one reason I needed to do this video. It is so important, and its history is amazing. I mean, this is the chopped down version, but if you do GCSE history, you learn so much more, the government action, public health, who discovered what was discovered, blood groups. It's amazing. And I know I'm saying that a lot, but it's true. It is purely just amazing. Well, everybody, that is the end of today's video. I do hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you have got the message from me that I think medicine is very important. And let me know what you think. So without further ado, everyone, I do hope you all have a great day, and I will just see you all in the next one. Bye.